Well, let's speak to Kethevane Gorjestani about all of this. Kethevane, your thoughts, first of all, on this latest killing of a top Iranian official by Israel?
Well, really, the sign that Israel, as we heard in that soundbite from the Israeli defense minister, Israel is continuing that strategy of taking out all of the top Iranian official. Esmail Khatib, the latest one. In the past 24 hours, you also had, as you said, Ali Larijani, who's the Supreme National Security Council secretary, as well as the commander of the Basij, General Gholem Reza Soleimani. But that is just the latest three. If you look at this list, a lot of them were killed, of course, on the first day of these U.S. and Israeli strikes. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, of course, the supreme leader, was the biggest figure that was killed on February 28th. But you also had the defense minister, for example, as well as several security, military, defense officials that were key to the sort of security and military apparatus of the Iranian regime, including General Mohammad Pakpour. He was the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC that we speak of so many times. So this is really a sort of a very clear strategy by the Israelis, which is we go after the heads of all of these big elements of the Iranian regime, the religious leadership, the military leadership, the security leadership, the intelligence leadership, because right here you have a list of some of the top names, but they are just some of the dozens of high-ranking officials who have been killed in the past days or weeks of this war. And what the Israelis are trying to do is basically create a lack of sort of command and control structure within the Iranian regime by going after pretty much everyone because they know what the Iranians had prepared for, which is we know that these top officials are targets and we have people who will replace them. They have a number 2, a number 3, a number 4. The question is, how many ranks do they have down the line already prepared to take the place of those people killed?
And I suppose, Kethevane, the question then is, as we look at that really significant list of Iranians that have been killed by Israel, is, look, what is Israel's end strategy here, and are they making progress towards that?
They're clearly making progress because they are indeed killing all of the top commanders and the top officials of the Iranian regime. They are dismantling one by one the regime's political security architecture. They are creating chaos. They are forcing those who are still alive to gather in different places because let's not forget, they're not just killing individual people, they're also going after the buildings in which they usually gather, forcing them to go into hideouts, forcing them to go into places that maybe are less secure and making them possibly easier targets. And as I was saying that there were dozens and dozens of other people who had been killed. That's the whole strategy there, which is you don't just cut the head, you cut the whole sort of power structure. And as we heard from the Israelis, they don't seem like they're ready to stop. They are going to sort of go until when, we don't know, but that is the ultimate goal. The question right now is what is left of the Iranian regime. Just moments ago, Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence of the United States, said during a hearing that the Iranian government was, quote, intact but largely degraded. A little bit contradictory to say that something is intact but also very much degraded. But the question is probably not answered even for American intelligence, which is how much general control is still in the hands of the IRGC, for example, who really, in the end, after we've taken out the supreme leader and Ali Larijani, who many believed was de facto in control since the death of the supreme leader, who now is in charge, and will this person next be next in line to be the target? The other issue, once you've determined whether or not this regime is holding or not holding, is down the road, if this war ends at some point, who is left to talk to if you want to negotiate? And we've had Donald Trump in the past few days several times talking about just that, saying, they're all dead. We don't know who we're dealing with. They want to talk, but we don't really know who's left there to talk because we've killed them all. That is going to be an issue, too, looking ahead, is are they going to try to keep some people that they see as potentially people that they could work with? Or are they indeed going to really try to kill off pretty much everyone? That probably is not technically feasible because, yes, you can take out the officials, but you still have dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people who are ideologically supportive of the Islamic Republic and who may not be ultimate targets because they're not that high ranking, but they are going to be still there. And how do you kill off all those people is another question. So the strategy right now seems to be paying off, at least in the eyes of the Israelis and the Americans. How long that works and where does it take us, that's a question that we can't really answer right now.
All right, thank you very much, Kethevane Gorjestani, for us there.